Okay, gonna do a little video here of the lagging and the jacketing. Zach right now is cleaning off the running gear for us. Basically, I'll upload this video after the maiden run and the meet event's done, just as an extra to show you guys, since the rebuild's pretty much all over with, and we're not gonna be doing updates for another 15 years, if I decide to do that. So basically what I've done is I vacuumed along the running gear here. I got up on the running board and try and vacuum up as much as possible all the little Furbies that are left behind from the insulation. We still got to insulate the firebox portion back here, so that's what we've been wiping off mostly in preparation for that. He had the 126 in here and he got smoking up pretty good this morning and yesterday too, when he was running it. So we got a lot of soot onto the insulation. I was trying to vacuum some of that off without pulling much of it away. Some of it looks kind of ratty though. All that stuff up there is not from me, so you can't blame me for that. But I've been trying to work here to get all the little fuzzies off of the running gear and make sure that it's not getting into the bearings, because one thing we don't like is we don't want to be wearing gloves when we grease the locomotive up, just in case we got any metal shards in there that they get somehow put on the grease or into the gun. So this would kind of be the same way. I'm surprised we haven't tried to cover them, but as long as we get it cleaned up before it moves again, it should be okay. I'll show you on the other side. It's pretty much to the same extent that you've seen here on this side. Okay, so as you can see up there, it's all about the same. The insulation is ceramic, and it comes in sheets kind of like the stuff you have in your house, only of course your house probably has fiberglass in it instead of ceramic, but it pretty much does the same thing. It just has a higher R value, which means it holds up to higher heat, which you want when it's against the side of a boiler. I gotta tell you, when they put the first sheet up there and it was still going, you could tell that it was on the metal how high it was, but as soon as you went out with the part that already had the fiber over it, you could not tell at all. It just felt, you know, like maybe room temperature. So it keeps in the heat pretty good. And we're working to get that on there so that way we can put the sheet metal on that'll form the new jacket, which is what you see on the outside of the boiler that gets all painted and makes the engine look all nice. We also tried to wipe off what we could. We're not going to continue with the macro epoxy, at least not now. Maybe this winter, if we want to take it off and do the inspection of the bolts, he might have us do that, but for right now, it's just going to get covered anyway. And we couldn't find any more leaks. The engine passed its steam test, its inspection, so it is ready to roll as soon as we get it all pretty. So I'm going to go up on top and get a closer look at this stuff for you guys to show you what we're dealing with. Other than here, as you can see, this is what it looks like before it goes on. It's a nice fibrous material, and it gets dirty kind of easy, so we're going to try and get it covered up as quickly as possible with the jacket. That's just why I was up there with the vacuum earlier. So I'm going to go up there and get you a good look. So I'm up on the fireman's side here now, and looking down the gangway. You can see the extent of how much stuff we got up here. We got the different sections. We try and cut it into smaller sections, the lagging here. By the way, in case you haven't heard it before, the insulation they put on a steam locomotive is called the lagging. And I mentioned earlier that it's made of ceramic fiber, not fiberglass like you put in your house, but it's pretty much the same principle. Back in the day, it will have looked similar, but instead of ceramic, what they had here instead was packets of asbestos, which of course now we know today is a real no-no. And it's not just dangerous to your health, it's also dangerous to the health of the locomotive, because I've heard people say, I think I heard TJ Gaffney said that putting asbestos on a locomotive boiler, you may as well wrap it in a wet blanket, because it rusts away pretty badly. So yeah, ceramic fiber from now on, everyone. It's not asbestos. But you can see how dirty it gets. This is the stuff that I tried to get most of the stuff with the vacuum, but otherwise it would just kind of come off like this if I put the vacuum too close. Jeff was doing some work on the whistle the other day, trying to get it just right. I still don't think it sounds right. I like how it used to sound back before Train Festival. Now it sounds a little too raspy, but he said that's correct. So, oh well. I wish it. How the 765 sounds now is more how like I want to hear it. But, oh well. Yeah. So I tried to get some of it clean. It's a little cleaner on this side than it was over there. Of course, you get little patches like this if you get the vacuum too close. I don't want to be wasting any. So it kind of looks ratty like where Jeff was working over here the other day. So I just tried to kind of skim it, so that way it got a little bit cleaner, so that when he puts the sheet metal on, it doesn't get all dirty underneath. But yeah, how you hold down here, see this little wire in here. This is some steel wire. Then we just strung it around here and tied it off and then cut it. And based on how many slabs there are, it was a real pain getting underneath the boiler under there. So this up here on top is the easy part. You have to kind of get on the frame. You send a board of wood across with the piece on top of it, and it's got a rubber bungee rope that's holding on there, tied to the board itself. You push it over to the other side, and the other guy will be on the other side. He'd undo it from there, and he'd throw the rope up to a guy up top here and pull it up tight. And then once all the pieces were on, we'd wire them all up and get them all tight as possible to pull it up, because we got to get this as flat on here as possible to get the jacketing on it. Because you see, like, these studs here will be where the jacket is on the outside. Some of these will have to be replaced though, because they've been kind of ground off. Like this one in here is too short. Might just cover over and put a new one on. But yeah, the jacket will be nutted down and in place, and that will be all painted. So I cleaned all this off back here. This was getting some significant ash particles on it, so I cleaned off so we could put the insulation on and get the jacket put on. And the next section will be next week, and he'll be putting the jacket on. I'll be showing that, hopefully, and getting that all done. We'll see the locomotive come together just like it would for normal maintenance. So this will happen after the main run, and you already get to see it all pretty beforehand. Now the jacket. So these are pieces of steel sheeting. They're aluminized. That'll help protect it from corrosion. And this is what's going on the engine. How big they'll have the full pieces, pretty much like this. We'll just cut out around it from the top of the barrel here and all the way down to the firebox. But for the bottom, you can see it in here, we had to cut smaller pieces to fit it in. Most of them are like half the size of that sheet in there, plus some cutouts. You gotta get around in here for the spacers, for the joints, and the sliders, as well as any pipes that come in. You gotta be able to shove past them. The top parts up to the catwalk are all done, down to the firebox here. And then we're working on the bottom, trying to get them across. They'll be done on Tuesday, as well as the rest of the top. So this part over here will all be covered with insulation. Well, actually, they might have to paint this, because I don't know if they'll get that part with that. But the top of it here will be getting done. It's kind of fogging up at the moment, but yeah. So this is what's left of the installation boxes. They're just being used to stand stuff up now. Here's the stuff that's still got the insulation in it. So we're cutting the sheets and we're getting it all set on here over the insulation. So that will all be done, and we'll have it all painted and ready to go by Wednesday evening. And you'll see this after that. It's all part of locomotive maintenance. And we've been doing the sheeting under here just like we done the insulation on the bottom, shoving it over with the boards here and trying to shove it up there along with the strap. So it's a lot of work, but once we get that done, we get the top done, and it's all strapped down with some metal straps. As you can see, it's all it's almost like a rivet. It's just a screw that goes through the two pieces and holds it in place. And that's really all it holds together. Aside from the bands, I'll tell you that. Okay. So when you see it, this video will come after you've seen the inaugural run. But yeah, that's it for Mr. I for right now. Okay, so we're all out here for the big reveal. See, Tyler's over here trying to get some footage. Oh well. Some good he does over there. But yeah, we're all ready for you here. Have not finished with the jacket on the top, so we ended up having to paint over the insulation to make it look all black. But by the end of MP, that should be all finished. The bottom, however, is finished. I'm gonna get up in here. So as you can see up in there, all this bottom half of the barrel is jacketed. All finished. And all painted. And we cleaned everything up nicely. And this here is actually the old paint on the drivers. They haven't been finished yet. So we just cleaned them all up. But yeah, we got a good head of steam on it. Ready to take the first excursion. Hopefully, I guess I'm going to split this into two parts of locomotive maintenance. So now you've seen the first part, you've seen the insulation go on, and the jacketing go on, and then some of the painting. I guess we'll have to finish the second part. We didn't get all this painted down here either, but it looks fine for now. To get hopefully done by Christmas, so yeah, we're all ready to go. We got a train behind us, and yeah. So first part of locomotive maintenance is all over with. Everything's greased up and ready to go.